Hey there, everybody. It's time for my DVD collection Redux Part 4. This video is going to be M through P, because there's quite a few of them. Let's get started. We're going to start off with my all-time favorite anime. It is a maid anime, or a maid/robot/fighting, it's hard to explain. That is Mahoromatic. I like how it comes in this nice little plastic case. And you can actually flip it around. It doesn't really matter which way you put it, but I like it this way. It's also signed by Steve Bloom. Yeah, last year. Then I'll go into here before I explain anything. Here is... shit, which one's volume? Okay, we've got volume 1, or, you know, the first 2 volumes. I actually had to buy one of the discs twice, so I ended up getting some extra stuff when I bought an individual volume, and then I got this little thing of her in her underwear. Yeah, that's kind of weird. That is kind of weird. Huh, okay. And then we got the other discs here, but, oh, and then this is the summer special, so it's not every single disc. Oh, yeah. Here's the other one with her in a bunny suit. This is my absolute all-time favorite anime, and it's the only thing that is one of the only things that's ever made me cry more than once. Every time I see the end of this, I bawl like a little like a baby. And then I heard not too long ago they decided to make a couple new episodes more based on the manga that just follow before the end of the series, and they called it Kodaima Okairi or something. No, that's the name of the theme song. They called it something, but I came to find out recently that they dubbed it, and they got most of the original dub cast, and I bought it. It's the Mahoromatic I'm Home OVAs. It's by a completely different company, but it's got most of the same cast as the original. And it's great to see this again, but this anime is so good. Everybody needs to watch this, no lie. Everybody needs to see this thing. Everybody. And honestly, I have the manga too. If the anime would have ended the same way the manga does, it would be the greatest thing ever made by mankind. Ever. 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 Then we have one of the more underrated Jim Carrey movies, as far as I'm concerned. That is The Majestic. This movie flopped in the box office, but it's actually really good in my opinion. Plus, it's one of those DVDs that opens like this, and then you open it. I don't know, but it's about a guy, it's about like a Hollywood producer who gets into a car crash and loses his memory and ends up in a town where they think he's another person because the guy looked exactly like him. And then he finds out who he is, and it gets really crazy by the end. I need to rewatch this. It's actually really good. Then we have an anime that I honestly don't know why I have. It's called Cyber Defense Force Mouchon, or Mouchon for short. Each episode is like 10 minutes long, and it's like 26 episodes. It's really bad up until the end. By the end of I was like, make it end. But then the last episode, I'm like, oh, this is cute. That, and it has a Love Hina reference, because it's by the same guy who made Love Hina, the animation is. So Naru actually shows up, and it's funny, because in the English dub, one of the characters is voiced by the person who played Naru in the English dub of Naru, so yeah, it's crazy. But here's Volume 1, here's Volume 2, here's Volume 3, and the last volume, Volume 4. It's not that great, and I honestly don't entirely know why I have it. But I kind of keep it just for the sake that it's by the guy who made Love Hina, and it's got Naru in it, and I love that anime too much, so that's probably the reason why I still have it. Then we go on to another one of my favorite animes, that being, and I can't believe I'm saying this, because a lot of people probably are going to laugh at me, but it is Marmalade Boy, and I have the entire series in these ultimate scrapbook things. So it's basically a box, comes out like that, opens like this, and you got 3 discs, and then there's like a little booklet and some stuff. And each book, or each scrapbook, has 19 episodes or so, usually. But you got your book 1, or your ultimate scrapbook, your 2, which is this weird pink color, this one, which is my favorite, book 3, just because of the color, and then 4. The best way to describe this is as kind of a soap opera anime, heavily involving around relationships, but there's some plot twists that got me a lot when I first watched it. Now not so much, but it's still a great anime in my opinion. And if you're into the more sappy love story animes, definitely give this a check out. Definitely. And for some reason I'm into those, but give it a check out. Then we go on to another Jim Carrey classic, The Mask. This is probably, yeah, this is the movie that made him famous, honestly, is this movie. Comedy gold right here. Absolute comedy gold, and it's Cameron Diaz's first movie also. Great movie, go check it out if you haven't seen it. Oh, and the Jamie Kennedy fucking son of Mask is a piece of shit. Just saying. Oh, and then we go on to another Jim Carrey movie. Another later one that was also still pretty funny. Me, Myself, and Irene. Jim Carrey plays a guy who, after getting a divorce, or getting, like, divorced by his wife, ends up having multiple personality disorder, and one of them is a criminal. He's a cop, and the other one is a complete criminal. So it's an absolutely hilarious movie, and Jim Carrey does a fantastic job in this movie. Go check it out if you're into stuff like that. Then we go on to another heavily influential and popular anime series from the last decade, that being The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. This is the first season, it's the ultimate complete collection, and it's actually a box. And then out comes all 4 volumes in here. And there's frickin' paper towel in the bottom of the box. Fuck. But anyway, here's Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. Very good. You have to actually watch it in a certain order because they were aired out of order, and if there's actually like different ways to watch it. There's the Kyon order, the Haruhi order, the actual order, or the air order of each episode. Because you got on the first disc, there's an episode that technically they don't make until the very last episode. So, yeah. And then here's the second season, which is also very good. But then you have Endless 8, which is the same episode 8 times. It's so annoying. And yeah, it's all about, oh, they just have to do their homework to make it stop. And then there's the movie, The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, where basically it gets really weird. This is a very strange one, and it starts doing references from the actual show, so it gets pretty crazy. But this is a great anime, and it's really messed up. The best way to describe it is the way my friend Phoenix describes it. This is entirely a troll anime. The first season was aired out of order, and the second season has Endless 8. Yeah, troll. That's all it is. There's no way else to describe it. So, then we go on to another fairly famous anime movie, that being Osamu Tezuka's Metropolis, as I said earlier when I was talking about Blackjack. Very good movie. Made me cry like a baby. I haven't watched it since. It's absolutely beautiful, the artwork is stunning, and it's directed by the guy who directed Akira, so it's great. No, the screenplay was by the guy from Akira, sorry, but it's directed by somebody named Rentaro. I can't remember what he did, but on the inside here there's a CD-ROM that apparently you can, like, or a DVD-ROM that you do stuff with. Or it's a little DVD extra, but it's one of those tiny little discs as compared to the actual DVD. I don't know. But great movie, I'd suggest going and watching it, definitely. Then we go on to, if you remember earlier in my very first DVD collection Redux video, I said I liked Carlos Mencia. I happen to own all of his show. You got Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, and Season 4, which is a completely different type of box. But very good. It's a lot of racial humor, so if you're into that, it's pretty funny. He makes fun of every race, and I think that you should be able to make fun of everything and anything and everything. So, yeah, it's great. Plus, he's funny. I guess he's been, people say he steals jokes, but I don't really care. I think he's freaking hilarious. Then we go on to the movie Miss March. If you've ever heard of The Whitest Kids You Know, this is the movie that they made. It's about a guy in a coma who has been in a coma since high school, and he wakes up to find his high school girlfriend, and it turns out she's been in Playboy. And he thinks she's turned into a slut, but she actually hasn't. It's pretty interesting. It's actually a good movie. Pretty good. Not fantastic, but it's pretty good. Check it out if you're into that stuff, I guess. Then we go on to a sci-fi movie, Mission to Mars. It's got, a bunch of pretty famous actors in it. It's basically about people going to Mars, and half the cast dies. It's pretty interesting. Or no, one person in the cast dies, and then one of them just disappears at the end. Actually, really good movie. It's long as shit, though. It's like 2.5 hours long. Nope, it's like just over 2. It's a good movie, though. I'd suggest checking it out. Then we go on to... I'm a fan of Monty Python. A very, very big fan of Monty Python. I do not own the series yet. I'm going to get it, but everywhere I try to buy it, it's like $80, and I don't want to spend that much, you know. But I have all of the movies. I have the very first one, and now for something completely different, which is just redone sketches from the show. Some of them are funnier, some of them aren't. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Then their most famous movie, the second one, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's a box and then it opens up. But absolutely amazing movie. It's cheesy as crap and not that well made, but that is why it's so good. I need to actually rewatch this because it's been a while. Then we have The Life of Brian, which is their third one, which I actually think is a little bit better of a movie than Holy Grail. It's basically it's made supposedly around the time of Jesus, where there's another guy named Brian who they follow around thinking he's the Messiah instead of, you know, Jesus. And it's a pretty good movie. I actually think it's a lot better. And there was actually a point after this movie came out where the members of Monty Python were on a show with religious people, and the religious people was like, blah, 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 saying that this was blasphemy, and they just completely owned and outplayed and outspoke these people. So it's pretty intense to see them outsmart religious people. Then we have their last movie, Monty Python's Meaning of Life. This movie's alright, and it was meant to offend everybody. It didn't really offend me, though. And hey, look, it also has these freaking things. Hate these. But pretty good. I also have this Monty Python live disc set, which is just, this disc is live at the Hollywood Bowl and live at Aspen. And then this is Parrot Sketch Not Included, 20 Years of Python, which was made right before Graham Chapman died. And the first episode of Monty Python's Flying Circus in German. Pretty good, because I've always wanted live at the Hollywood Bowl, because it's absolutely hilarious. Pretty good. I absolutely love, you know, Monty Python, and I need to get the series at some point, and I will. But yeah, check it out if you're into British comedy, definitely. Then we go on to another Disney series that I actually like a lot, that being Mulan. Has some damn good music, too. Oh, and the singing voice for Mulan is the singing voice for Jasmine in Aladdin. But very good, very well made. I love this movie. This is a very good one. I also have the sequel, Mulan 2, which isn't quite as good, but it's still alright. Very good movie. Medieval China, so pretty crazy. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. Then we have a wrestling DVD. This is the New and Improved DX, or D-Generation X, Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Absolutely amazing. It's when they reformed back in 06, 07, and it's their feuds and whatnot. So it's wrestling, but my favorite part is this part right here. Suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it. Break it down! What if this one can do it? Not so much. Only one arm works on that one. Then we go on to another anime series that I think is alright. I originally saw it on Comcast On Demand, that being Ninja Nonsense. Very good. It's kind of a fan servicey-ish. Really weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very good. I spent a hell of a lot on it. It's 12 episodes. Comes with this little thing. Here's Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. It was a pain in the butt to get, or it wasn't a pain in the butt to get, it was just expensive. Like, more for 12 episodes, it was like twice as much as some series that were like 20 and were half the price, so it was kind of ridiculous, but I wanted it, so I ended up buying it. It's pretty good. It's really weird, and it's got a lot of adult humor in it, but it's a ninja anime. If you're into randomness, you know, I'd suggest checking it out. Then we go on to the only Jet Li movie I have. I need to get more of them, but that's the one. This movie also has Jason Statham in it. It's really good. It's basically about, Jet Li plays two characters in this. A time traveler, or a guy it's all about time travel. This one guy has killed every alternate reality version of himself, except the one who's a cop. It's It's really hard to explain. It just gets really crazy, but it's a great movie, and I'd suggest checking it out, definitely. Hey, look, we go on to another wrestling DVD, which is also D-Generation X. This is D-Generation X One Last Stand. This is basically when they last reformed back in 09 to 010, right before Shawn Michaels retired. And it's just all of their feuds from that. It's very good because I love Triple H and Shawn Michaels a lot. They're two of my favorite wrestlers, so this is really cool. Definitely check it out if you like wrestling. Probably one of the better DVDs. Then we go on to, if you've ever heard of The Onion, the fake news website, they made a movie called The Onion Movie, which is just a spoof of a bunch of different things. There's movie trailers, news, they spoof Britney Spears, they spoof just about everything. It's a really weird movie, but I'd suggest checking it out. If you like The Onion and you like just randomness, go check out this movie. Then we have another Will Ferrell comedy, The Other Guys. This is one of his best movies, I'd say, or one of his best, most recent movies. Mark Wahlberg's in this too. I saw it right after I saw, actually no, I was going to go see it because it was out the same time as Dinner for Schmucks, but that ended up not happening. I ended up picking it up. I love this movie. The first time I watched it, I was like, eh. Then I watched it again and I laughed my ass off. It was really weird. It's a great movie. I'd suggest it to just about anybody if you like comedies. Plus, there's random Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock in it at the beginning. Pretty good. Pretty great. Then we go on to another one of my favorite animes. This is technically a girls' anime as well, but it's half of its fan base is guys, and that's Ouran High School Host Club. Just because of how random it is. Here are both parts. I got part 1 on the right here and part 2 on the left. My left, right, but very, very good. It's technically a reverse harem if you think about it, but it's not because there's only 2 people that like the main character in it. It's only 26 episodes, and it has a manga that goes further, and I need to read it, and I'd suggest this anime to anybody because it's about like a group of guys that like all they do is, you know, host. It's like a club where they flirt with girls and hang around with girls, and the main character is a girl but pretends to be a guy. I don't quite know why, actually, but it's a great anime. Definitely check out both it and the manga. Then we go into another really, really good movie, that being The Perfect Storm, another Mark Wahlberg, also has George Clooney, and it's also one of these DVDs as well. It does this kind of thing. I only have 2 of these, apparently. Very good movie, made me cry when I first saw it. It's long as well, it's like, yeah, 2.5 hours long, about. Very, very good, though. Definitely go check it out if you're into dramas and action, I don't know. Then we go on to the Pirates of the Caribbean series. I only have the first 2 movies, The Curse of the Black Pearl and Dead Man's Chest. Very good movies, and yes, I know I need to get the rest of them. I'm only going to get the 3rd one. I am not going to get On Stranger Tides, because it doesn't have the main cast, and I think it's a terrible idea it was a terrible idea to get that, so no point. Then we go on to another series. Well, it's technically 2 series, but they're sequels. Another one of my favorites, Please Teacher, or Onigai Teacher in Japan. It's basically about a guy who ends up next door neighbors with his teacher. She's an alien, and all this weird stuff is explained, and it gets to the point where they have to live together because everybody thinks they're married, and they end up falling in love. It's pretty weird. But this box is really weird because it has 4 opening panels, or 3. Yeah, it's weird, but very good anime. It's only 12 episodes. I wish it were longer. I give it a rewatch every now and then. It's pretty good. Then they have the sequel series, Please Twins, which has basically a lot of the characters from this as sub-characters, like minor characters now. But it's basically about a guy who finds a picture with 2 girls in it, and they all have the same color eyes, and that's apparently really rare, so he realizes one of them is his sister, and one of them is just a friend. He ends up falling in love with both of them, and he has to realize which one is the sister and which one is the friend. And just like that Cowboy Bebop, one of the things broke, so I have a jewel case in here protecting it. But I actually got this one way out in Florida because I couldn't find it anywhere. But it's really good. Not as good as the original. This one is phenomenal. This one's pretty good, and it's a nice conclusion to everything. Definitely check them both out if you're into that kind of stuff. It's kind of it's a comedy, but there's a lot of serious points, so it's kind of like Ayori Ayoshi, if you remember that. Then we have, this is a burnt copy of a band that I'm getting way into, Poets of the Fall. This is their live, or their DVD. It's just all of their music videos plus some interviews. I need to buy a physical copy of this, but I managed to burn it. Alchemy Volume 1 is what it's called. It's their greatest hits, basically. Then we go on to my childhood. And that was Pokemon, and I have every movie that was from the original dub. First up we have, this is the first 3 movies. It's a little damaged because my brother and sister decided to borrow it and they don't take care of their stuff. Yeah, it's probably not going to work anymore. But right here is the first movie, and then this right here is the second movie, and then on the other side is the third one. Great movie. The second movie is my all-time favorite because Lugia is one of my favorite Pokemon. Then we have the fourth movie, Forever. Another really great movie, made me cry. The first 3 movies made me cry, and so did this one. Then we have Heroes, which is another great movie. And then I have Jirachi Wishmaker, which is probably my least favorite of all of them. And then Destiny Deoxys, which I actually recorded when they first showed it on TV on Kids WB. I recorded it onto a VHS tape. Then the last ever dubbed one, Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, which also made me cry. Great movie, and it's got the voice of Goku as Lucario. And also in this is the mastermind of the Mirage Pokemon, which is when they first changed the voices, so it was kind of a weird little thing. But it's pretty good. Honestly, I think that this movie is probably one of the best, because it's like a finale for the original cast, in my opinion. Very, very good. And then I also have the special, it's Mewtwo Returns. Another really good one. It's just basically the return of Mewtwo. Unfortunately, the case is a little broken, so the bottom doesn't... Wow, it's really bad, but the bottom doesn't close. See, it can't close, and the top barely closes. I almost want to get a new case for this thing, but it's pretty good. Very good, and I'd suggest watching Pokemon, at least the movies, not the show, because the show's kind of dumb. No lie. Then we go on to another Disney series, that being Pocahontas. One of the more underrated ones in my opinion, but it's great in its own right. Here's the first one, which is in another cardboard case. Apparently this has 2 versions of the film on it with... Oh, it's the 10th anniversary with the If I Never Knew You. Yeah, that's a great song. Very, very good. Colors of the Wind, Just Around the River Bend, If I Never Knew You, all great songs. And then I have the sequel, Pocahontas 2, which I actually think is one of the better sequels to any, you know, Disney movie. Not as good as the first one, but still pretty good. I'd suggest checking them both out, because Pocahontas, you know, Native American, it's always cool. Then I have another thing that I have no idea why I have. And I hate showing this, because this is one of the ones I'm really embarrassed about having. Fucking A. Princess Protection Program. I saw this on the Disney Channel. I absolutely hate the Disney Channel now, but I saw this like 3 years ago on the Disney Channel, and for some reason I couldn't stop watching it, and I ended up really liking it, and I ended up buying it. Actually on a day I no-showed for work. Nobody ever saw me. It's hilarious. But Demi Lovato and Selena Gomez at this time were both hot. Selena Gomez still is. Demi Lovato's just gotten really skinny, and she liked to cut herself. But great movie, I guess. If you're weird like me. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop. Then to finish off this video, we have an American-made show that I absolutely love, and that is Psych. I have Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4 with the squirt guns, and Season 5. They are actually on Season 7 right now. I have not bought Season 6 yet. I need to, and I know I need to, and it bothers me that I don't have it yet. But another great show. It's basically about a guy whose dad was a detective in the Santa Barbara, California Police Department, and he grew up with all this crap with his dad. His dad was kind of strict, whatnot, but he ends up being really good at solving crimes because he's really good at observing things, and people ask him why he does it, and he just comes up with the fact that he's psychic when he's not. So he has to fake psychic, and right now he's in the series, he's dating one of the cops, so if she ever finds out, that's not going to go very well. But, yeah, great show. definitely check it out if you're into that stuff. But that finishes this episode, this video of the DVD collection, my DVD collection, Redux. Next video will probably be R through S or T, or I might just finish all of them. I have no cues, so it'll just start at R. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, later.